Hi, internet friends. This is freedom. Freedom is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. This is a channel where whispers from the unseen, short, quiet moments that loosen the mind and open the heart, are brought to you, the listener. Breathe in, listen, and remember who you are. So today's message has multiple facets, but the main themes of today's channel message are leadership, and I've been getting a lot about fairness and abandonment themes. So these are showing up for many, and I've been shown things, I've been going through things, I've been seeing things. It's time to convey this message, and I think it's important for many of you who are listening to this. And let's talk about fairness and abandonment. Um, so many people currently on this planet are, let's say, facing some of these issues along, or let's say even themes. They're issues and themes that have been experienced somewhere along the line, and many of these themes have been experienced in childhood, and a lot of it, well, many of these happen through when a father or a mother abandons them, leaves the home, and the person is left with one parent, but they're also left with the wound of thinking that I'm most likely not good enough for that person, or maybe sometimes it's even been an accident or a death. It still leaves a wound around being abandoned. And this is where it gets interesting, is as children we internalize a lot of this, and if there's nobody there to guide us, maybe the other parent or no elders are around, then the child internalizes the pain. And what starts happening with the pain is it turns into ideas, and these ideas are very often, because the pain is so much, it's too big, it's too great. The person or child starts to believe that the world is so unfair because they're experiencing so much pain through that abandonment. And very often, when this is not dealt with, let's say through meditation, through healing therapies, or your own presence actually and your own understanding, very often this shows up in adult life as almost like if you've ever seen a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old just lying on the ground and just crying, and because they're not getting what they want, or again, the world seems unfair because they're not getting what they want, then this is what the adult actually looks like. They walk around with a puffy face, and I don't want to, like, the important theme of this message is not to put down anybody, because there's a lot of pain, and I know a lot of people are going through that pain. It's a very, very difficult pain, but I just want to paint the picture of what it can look like. And this is literally a toddler who is not happy, who is in pain, will show up as a pouty, moody adult. Very often these people can put on weight, extra weight as well, for safety. because they need to get something from somewhere, need to get that love from somewhere. But this is not that important for this message. For this message, currently, it's a lot about to share this theme, to understand that literally what is happening right now is they are wanting me to explain why this is happening, and this is happening because of that big pain and the resulting belief of the world is unfair because my dad left, my dad wasn't there, my mom left, my mom wasn't there, they took them away, or my mom, my dad, my caregiver was taken away. And this is why it feels so unfair and feels so much too much pain. And this is important current because a lot of people are going through the same thing. And if you're listening to this, it's very high, it's highly likely that either you or somebody close to you is going through this similar theme. So be gentle with these people. It's, if possible, it's definitely encouraged to kind of be with these people and be with yourself throughout this pain, to navigate it and to grow more mature as a human being. So the world, because the world won't seem as unfair if you're there for yourself, if you're there for that part of yourself. So it's not as scary, not as unfair anymore, not as painful anymore, because the child wants to be seen in that pain. It wants to be felt in that pain. So do your best to feel that pain and do your best to just to to be with that very young, either part of yourself or part of somebody close to you. And allow time as well. Although right now I'm getting this message, it's almost like the time is running out. But it's like a good window. The time is of an essence here as well, because it's a really good energetic window to really do this work right now, and to be done with at least a portion of it. Now, the second part of this channeled message is about leadership, and I've been getting this constant um, message of stepping into leadership, and what is a leader and who is a leader and how leadership is even conveyed. And I even kind of fought against even a little bit um, with giving this message, or channeling this message. It's a bit of it's a double-edged sword, this leadership thing, I think. And a lot of people, when you hear the word leadership, sometimes people have these idealistic views about it. Oh, I'm going to get a leadership position, and this means I'm going to get something, maybe power, maybe status, maybe money, maybe something. I'm going to immediately be given something. But leadership, to me, and throughout my experiences, I've been in very different positions throughout my life, in leadership positions, in not leadership positions. And through it all, I've seen that leadership is not actually these idealistic rose-colored like ideations of it. It's more of a burden. It's a 100%. It's a burden. Um, but somebody's got to do it. And why is this important? I was constantly, given this message and shown these things, and then almost like encouraged to speak about these things. But it's, you know, there is this thing where Neptune is going to, or is already in Aries. Now, Neptune in Aries will definitely require us to start fighting for things, um, start fighting for the right thing, and start fighting for the higher ideal, for the weak, for the people who maybe not don't have so much, and these these bigger, higher ideals that we have. Yes, sometimes things will get distorted. So this is definitely a possibility. But I think why I was constantly kind of given this message was many of you listening to this will be asked to, you know, to step into more of a almost like a fiery leadership position where the action is geared towards some sort of higher idealistic goal to help others, to help, humanity, to help achieve things, now to really do and fight for these things and ideals. Because a lot of it, yeah, it will go back and forth, because Neptune will go back for a brief stint in Pisces, but for a long period, for the next 15 years, Neptune will be in Aries. So there's a lot of that coming our way. And I think that almost like the last part of this message about this stepping into leadership is stepping into leadership can mean many things, but it's very often, taking action. There's a lot of action taking involved in fighting for something and fighting for these ideals. And if there's a almost like a grounding message for this portion of the message, is be understanding and be clear on the reasons and the desires behind and the purpose behind, stepping into these positions, because sometimes it can be offered to you, and especially in that case, but also even if it's your own, impulse to step into that leadership position and to take action and to fight for something. Because literally, if you're going to be fighting for something, if you see some wrongdoing and you're going to be fighting for something and you decide to take the action and jump into it, that's already a leadership position. You're going into leadership. So if you do those things, make sure do these for these higher goals, these idealistic, almost pure reasons and goals, because otherwise things start getting really distorted and muddy and maybe even manipulative. So because Neptune can be very foggy, be really clear on why you're doing this, because even if you don't stop yourself from doing the bad things, you're not surprised later on if you do the bad things and it comes, almost smack down on your face or in your face. So yeah, be on the lookout and be prepared, and look for the desire, actually, because I think the desire will find you, and believe it will be there for you. um I'm just I'm just looking and tuning in to if there's more for today, or if it's complete, and if I feel complete. Yeah, there's a sense of completion. So thank you for listening, and I'll be here soon.